John,
Sir?
full disclosure, I am completely fucking ripped. So just please bear with me here.
We need to put that in the beginning of the podcast.
Well, it's a good thing we're already recording, because the editor will definitely put that in as the cold open.
Thank you.
What a turd.
Feeling good, boys.
What's up, boys? It's the first podcast of what year, Derek?
2025.
2025. Welcome to it. It's good to see you, fellas. It's been too long. We haven't done this for a while, what with the holidays and all.
Yeah, since album of the year, which was a few weeks ago.
Dave, did Santa give you the butt plugs you wanted?
He did not.
Oh,
No.
It's too bad. I'm sorry to hear
thanks
that.
that's disappointing.
Yeah.
There's always next year.
There's got to be a birthday coming up where maybe he'll show up.
You know, there's actually Ghost has some masturbation devices that you can get that are branded. Maybe we can get Dave some of those for Valentine's Day.
In an attempt to be more family friendly in 2025, you will hear a lot of bleeps and blurps throughout the following podcast.
Wrongo. What are we talking about?
Shit. We're talking about Opeth, their latest album, and we are definitely late to the party. This came out in November of last year, and it's Opeth. It's a big record by a big band that's been around for a long time. A lot of people waited with bated breath for this one. It is called The Last Will and Testament, and it is, in a lot of ways, what you would expect from Opeth. On another hand, they brought back some styles that they haven't employed for a while. So it's a pretty interesting record. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about it. What are your first thoughts? Do you know Opeth? I know you do, Derek. Dave, were you familiar with Opeth prior to this album?
No, I wasn't, John. This is all new to me. I have to say it's different for sure. Phenomenal musicians. The album had a little bit of everything in it. And it was a theme. If I'm getting this right, this was a family who did not get along. This is either a will or some sort of an inheritance, and it's nasty vibes.
Yeah, you're right on the money.
Yeah, and I wrote a lot of lyrics down to each song because as I'm writing the lyrics, I kind of figured out, okay, now I know what's going on. But great concept album, phenomenal musicians, and as we get into it, I'll comment more. But a little bit like Blood Incarnation, I thought at times.
Was it at all like Blood Incantation?
No, not
or
sound-wise.
more like Blood Incarnation.
Incarnation, you know what I mean? At times, maybe not as heavy, but there definitely was that script that they kind of followed on the album. It was a nice flow with a storyline to it. So,
Derek, what were your first thoughts?
Yeah, I'm glad that they went back to some of the death metal from 2008's Watershed.
Yep.
It definitely was a dynamic that, look, I'm going to be honest with you. Opeth, I wrote them off a long time ago. As soon as they abandoned, some of the death metal elements, I was like, not interested whatsoever. Bored the living shit out of me for a very long time. And so when you brought this up, I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. And I was happy to hear some of the death metal elements that are in there. Obviously, the prog elements are in there. I thought that a lot of the synth all the way through it kind of fit in with some of what Meshuggah has done in the background of Meshuggah's music. It's prog.
Opeth just pushes those forward. Yeah,
they push it much, much, much more forward. In the end of the day, you have to respect what Opeth is. I didn't really love where they went to, but I'm happy that they're back and they're kind of at their roots a little bit. And before we move forward, Ian Anderson, we have to call out the work that he did with 100%. The flute and some of the acoustic guitar. Ian Anderson is from Jethro Tull. And he was born in 1947, and he is on a death metal record. So he's an older dude, and he certainly made this record, I think, another level up.
and it didn't waste time because it was 4. I'm not sure how you say, but number 4.
Yeah.
It had that Jethro Tull, such a Jethro Tull feel.
Well, that was one of
right
the
away. It's like, oh my God, it's just,
one of the flavors I picked up. I heard a lot of stuff listening to this album from 90s era Dream Theater, Jethro Tull, King Crimson, heard a lot of stuff in here. And the Jethro Tull flavor was very real because Ian Anderson's all over this, playing flute. He does a ton of spoken word on the album. Anytime you hear the actual reading of the will in each song, that's Ian Anderson.
Yes, it is.
And he does an exceptional job. He's got a great speaking voice. Some of us old bastards might recall an MTV Awards back in 25 years ago or something when Jethro Tull won the metal album of the year. I think it was the VMAs, wasn't it?
It was better than Metallica's, John. It was better.
No, it was not, but we'll keep going.
Jethro Tull had no business being in that category. And that was some political bullshit, that happened back then. But Ian Anderson's presence is thick on this record, and he does a great job. And well done. And I agree, Derek, that he leveled himself up by being so heavily involved in a prog rock, prog metal album. So congrats to Ian Anderson for making the right choice.
And when I put together the list of, the band members, I put him in there because I felt like, when you go back and you listen to the Opeth the catalog, it's not even close. The other layer, and there's a reason why this record has been universally acclaimed. Let's see here. All Music, 5 out of 5 stars. Blabbermouth, 10 out of 10. Kerrang, 3 out of 5. That's not so good. Metal Injection, 9 out of 10. Pop Matters, 9 out of 10. Rock Hard, 10 out of 10. Metacritic at 84 out of 100. This has been accepted, and it might be one of Opeth's better records. And again, I looked at it and I said, it's got to be, Ian Anderson that brought this additional layer that took it to another level.
Well, they are I've always looked at Opeth as a progressive rock band with heavier elements. Their earlier stuff definitely, as we're saying, had the death growls up, sporadically up through 2008. They kind of disappeared for a while. A lot of the heavier musical elements kind of disappeared for a while. But if you're a prog rock fan, Opeth is a band that you should certainly know about or should check out if you're not familiar with them. And this album is big. It's super theatric. It's very dramatic. My wife listened to it a few times through with me, and she was kind of on the fence because she doesn't like the really heavy stuff anyway. But she was like, "God, this is something off a stage play. Almost a musical."
The thing is with that, John, is there were so many parts where there were beautiful instrumentals in these songs that a casual listener like Case or even myself who's not into that enjoyed that.
Another thing that grabbed me right off the bat is the mix. The mix on this album is so clean. Every element on the album is up front, but not in your face. The drum mix really stood out for me. So much of the stuff I've listened to over the past few years that I gravitate towards has really highly processed drums, for example, where the snare, you're hearing a snare drum, but you're hearing a tremendous amount of processing and compression that goes on in the mixing and post-production and mastering phases. The drums that Walteri put down on this album are so clean. It sounds like you're standing right there next to him while he's playing the kit. And that's not an easy thing to accomplish, especially when it's layered in with such a thick overall production in terms of the number of instruments and vocal tracks going on. So big props to the production team and the mixing team. I know Michael Ackerfeld, I'm going to butcher all these names. He played a big hand, as did the rest of the band in the mix. Frederick Ackesson on guitars, backing vocals, Martin Mendez on bass, Walteri Verernen, again, apologies, I'm so sorry, drums and backing vocals, and Joachim Svalberg on keys and backing vocals. And then again, Ian Anderson, Joey Tempest, the vocalist from Europe, is on this album. Michael Akerfeld's daughter is on this record. London Session Orchestra did a lot of the strings on here. Dave Stewart, who is another huge music guy, who's worked with a ton of prog rock bands. He did a lot of work on this, orchestrating the strings and doing arrangements. So a very, very thick album. And I think I would not use the term masterpiece necessarily in terms of the production quality, but it is ultimately a top end record in terms of production and mixing and mastering. And that's on top of a bunch of great performances and great songwriting. So I am a fan of the record, just to put it out there up front.
Listen, if the whole band was a basketball team and Dave was a basketball coach, he would be swatting their fannies as they came off the court.
For sure.
Yes, he would.
I mean,
John,
it's that good.
John, just to your point with the drums, I thought song 3 and song 5, I specifically made notes on there because at points on some of those songs with the bass line and the drums, it was so fucking tight and it sounded so good. Sometimes it had a little almost like a jazzy feel to it, like a Liquid Tension feel to it, but just phenomenal. I wanted to make that point before I forget.
Yeah, a lot of great grooves on this album too.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, I have to say this on, it was the second track. Mm-hmm. I love the death metal in the middle. It crushes. It's just fucking badass. But some of the synth parts took me back to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood of Make Believe. It felt like I was watching a child's, educational show. And then all of a sudden they behead you and you've got a little neck here spouting blood everywhere. And it's like, what a fucking trip.
Yeah. Those synths and really prog rock flavored synth lines. That's the stuff that for me, I was like, what were these guys listening to when they wrote this album? And that was one of the Dream Theater circa, Images and Words album in like 91, 92. That is, it's a mainstay in progressive metal. It was then anyway.
Hey, John, is this just a completely different album from this band? Is this like an album that's like, oh my God, we've never seen this before? Or have they done, I don't want to say, I guess it's a concept.
Their last concept record was, I don't know, it was like 2012 or something.
Okay, so it was a while ago.
It's been a while since they've done a true concept record.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the end of the day, when you look at the band, they went back to something that worked in the past, but they kept what has worked in recent years. Mm-hmm. And Michael is the head songwriter. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants to be doing. And I think that in the end of the day, they got to a place where the death metal community, the metal community can agree. But when you think about Sweden, some of the radio there is a little bit more progressive, if you will, than America. Yeah. And metal is played on the radio there. It's not unheard of to hear black metal and death metal and progressive metal on the radio. And so it behooves them at home in Stockholm to be something that's a little bit more accessible. And I think that they checked a lot of boxes on this record to be accessible. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't love this style of music. Dream Theater, Opeth, it's generally something that I stay away from. I'm a bit more of a traditionalist with thrash and some doom metal and some black metal and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you have to respect what these guys have done. And I thought that this record was a return to form while also being accessible to the fans that they picked up over the years that didn't have some of the death metal elements in it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's well said. I don't know this band well enough to really comment like you guys. This is all new to me, so I'm really going based on what I've heard today. So,
well, I think within the American metal community, this is, it's not going to be a standout. It's not going to hit any radio here in the U.S. Outside any terrestrial radio, anyhow. But there's a lot of chatter that it was people's album of the year last year, even though I just don't think it was released early enough in the year to really gain a whole lot of traction by the end of December. But I think for those that want to push it into this year's album lists, it's going to be up there because it is a powerfully good album with great songwriting and great production.
Interestingly, the U.S. for independent albums on the Billboard charts, it came in at 20.
Oh,
which
that's respectable.
That's pretty good. And U.S. top rock and alternative albums, it debuted at 28. Now, for the overall U.S. Billboard 200, which has pop and all that other horse shit that we don't like in it, it came in at 200. No, I lied, 140.
Okay.
So it was down there.
Yeah, I mean, hell, top 50 with the amount of music that's being put out these days, good, bad, and otherwise. If you're in the top 50 on any list,
sure.
It's not garbage.
No, absolutely not. And look, in the end of the day, metal is never going to be mainstream here in the U.S. I think personally that we all need to just move to Scandinavian countries where metal is just the norm. I mean, again, it's dark all the time in the winter. So go make putrid metal, whatever kind of metal turns you on in any Scandinavian country. Well, they're going to make metal because it's fucking dark and miserable. So why not?
Yeah, that's exactly what our buddy from the North said.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got 7 or 8 months of winter where you just stay inside and write heavy music.
Exactly. So do we want to put numbers on this?
I certainly can. I'm like an 8.5.
Are we gonna do favorite tracks? Or
sure. We can do that too. What's your standouts, Dave?
So my standout was song number 1, song number 3, and Love, A Story Never Told. I thought that was
the closer.
Fantastic song.
Yeah, that's a great closer. Fantastic soaring guitar leads throughout. Beautifully done. Oh, and a fun fact I read, somebody asked about the odd little symbol that you see in place of the song names. Mm-hmm. And Michael says that he used those in place of song names as though you're reading the sections of a last will and testament.
Oh, cool.
So each section would be another section of the last will and testament.
That's very cool. That follows the album perfectly.
My standouts, I love track 5. It's got such a fantastic groove to the whole thing.
John, the drums and bass in that song were, like I said before, just incredible.
Yeah. Yep. So number 5 and A Story Never Told. Those are two. They're all great songs, but those are the two of the standouts that I dig.
Very nice.
A Story Never Told, 1, 3, and 5. One struck me as there was parts in it. It would be if the Who decided to go metal a little bit, just ever so slightly. I heard a little Who in there. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting record. Again, I probably will not listen to it again after this, but I can totally respect what they are, where they are in their progression, and I can see why the world has really embraced this record.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and as far as putting numbers on it, like I said, I'm at a pretty solid 8.5 on it. I think it's a really well done record, a very enjoyable listen. What you guys got for numbers?
John, I was an 8. The production was fantastic. Overall, I gave it an 8, which is not shabby. So.
Yeah, 9 for the production qualities, the talent level. For my own personal preference, I give it a 7. It's just not my cup of tea. Yeah. But I met halfway in between at 8. You have to respect what they're doing, the production qualities, the effort. You have to look beyond your own personal preference when you listen to music sometimes, especially when you're in a role that we're doing, right? Yeah. And you have to be fair. There's a shit ton of fucking talent in Opeth. Let's call it like it is.
Yeah.
Whether you like the style of music or not, they are on the fucking forefront talent wise, and you have to respect what they're doing.
Can I just say something to that point? When I started this podcast, I didn't know if I was going to be into the metal and the thrash that you guys are. And I always denounced it. That's shit. I can't listen to that. But now that I've done this podcast and you listen to these bands, even if you don't like the music or something about it you don't like, just step back, like Derek said, and just listen to the musicianship in these bands. They're phenomenal. Even if you just focus on one thing particular that might interest you, then focus on that, because these guys are musicians. They're very talented.
One of the things that illustrates to me how good they are is the decisions made when crafting parts. And this, the same could be said for any musician on any album. One of the most important things is knowing when not to play and laying back and just, if you're a drummer, just providing a nice steady beat without flourishes or, trying to draw the spotlight to yourself. And every one of the guys in this band have the highest level of knowledge when it comes to when they need to, live in the space between and when they need to be on it and out front.
Good point,
and
John.
there's a ton of great examples of that thinking throughout this album for all of the instruments. And it's another reason I think it's a really, really solid album. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And the internet seems to have validated that thought. And you guys,
the internet's fucking going crazy for it. Like it's just a big spooge fest for them.
Yeah. I kept myself in the dark largely as far as the popular opinion, and wasn't surprised when I saw that the popular opinion was that it's a really fucking good record.
Yeah.
Well, Derek, you are going to be up next, and you mentioned that you might have something pretty strong for us. What do you got next?
We'll see if Dave can get into this or not. It's going to be Patriarch. Prophet Ilja is the name of the album. They used to be a band called Batushka. Batushka. And there was two Batushkas, and the band members separated. And I like this incarnation of Batushka way better than the fully black metal version of Batushka. So this version broke off and became Patriarch. They have kind of like Gregorian chant in their music, some low, guttural, almost church-like singing. You won't hear a lick of English in this, so you just have to go with it.
I can't wait to see what lyrics Dave writes down for this one.
There's not a word. There's no English. But it is an experience, and I am really curious. John, I know you can eat this shit up.
Yeah,
this is going to be a challenge for Dave. He is going to have a hard time with this, but we'll see how he does.
Okay.
Will Dave's need for melodicals be satiated with this album?
There is some melodicals for the one Dave, and so hopefully the one Dave can and embrace it, love it.
Will it sound like Blood Incarnation?
It will not. It's going to sound like you're going to an evil church.
Okay.
Nice.
We'll give it a shot.
Well, boys, it's good to be back in what year is it? 2025 now. Mm-hmm. And before we jump, not to turn a serious corner here, but all of us work for the same company, and we did lose sort of a member of our work family last night, and that's certainly sad. A wonderful, wonderful guy named Rob passed away after kind of a prolonged illness, and so we are feeling for his family, Jim and Nan and Jack and all the rest of their family and Rob's friends. So many good vibes going out to that family. And if you got somebody you dig, somebody you love, give them a hug, tell them you love them, because you never know when they're going to leave you.
True.
Well said. And a quick shout out. We have a couple new listeners. Heidi and Austin, thanks for listening. Appreciate it. It's awesome to have you guys, and hopefully you come back.
Yeah, I hope you come back, and please forgive the fact that Derek is a horrible, horrible creeper of a man. Forgive him. He looks like a creeper, He looks far more creepish than he actually is. I've known him long enough that I can confidently say that he looks bad, but he's really not.
All right.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, John. Thank you.
I'm here to help.
Cheers, man.
All right, boys. We'll see you next
All right.
time.
See ya.